This is Judd for Boxing Social in partnership with Empire Fighter Store with the famous Rotunda ABC. Delighted to be joined by Callum Smith here in Liverpool. I can't count how many national amateur champions, how many boxers for Team England, how many professionals have come through this gym. There's history in these walls, Liam.
Yeah, there is. Obviously, we've had some good fighters come from this gym over the years, and long may it continue. The amateur club's a top club that produces champions year in, year out, and they're still producing champions now, so long may it continue.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, before we go on to yourself, let's reflect on last Saturday, JJ Metcalfe. You were in attendance, obviously, in Saturday, but unfortunately couldn't get a word with you. Just a reflection, first of all, on his performance. A good win. Arguably, his opponent could have been pulled out of that fight earlier, but just reflection on his performance.
Yeah, good performance, dominant from start to finish. Thought Pennington was tired from round 3 onwards. It was just a case of JJ picking the right shots and getting him out of there, and obviously he forced him to retire on a stool. So good dominant performance, professional performance that keeps him on track and keeps him onwards and upwards.
Multi-fight deal, obviously, with Matchroom. Where can you see him going in his next fight, and obviously next year, let's say?
Yeah, obviously I think Matchroom are a top stable to back him, so I think he's in good hands there. And I just think the Dennis Hogan fight is, just a great fight to make at this point in time. I think Eddie and Matchroom are talking about Croke Park. Dennis Hogan's Irish, based in Australia. JJ's got Irish connections with the Shamrock stuff and, his dad. So I just think it's a perfect fight that makes sense, and, a good fight to make stylistically wise for that bill.
Obviously, before the Warrington headliner, we had the England game. Just a reflection on that as well. Obviously, didn't go England's way, but here at Rotunda ABC, we're in the shadow, let's say, of Anfield. A big football fan yourself, but yeah, just a reflection on England's performance.
Yeah, just not one of them. You know what I mean? I think performed well. To be fair, performed well, but just beaten by the better sides. They scored 2 good goals. We scored the penalty and missed the penalty. Just didn't create enough chances, and defensively not good enough. Their goals, the first goal okay, the second goal was poor. How Judd can score a header from there, that close, and challenge behind from Harry Maguire. I just thought the defending was poor.
Obviously the headliner, I don't know if you stayed around to watch the headline fight. Lopez was, a lot of people had it one way, a lot of people had it the other. Some even had it as a draw. Obviously Carl Froch, when I spoke to him, had it in favour of Warrington. Just, if you've seen any highlights or seen the fight in itself, what do you think of the scorecards? What do you think of the fight?
Yeah, you know what, mate, I didn't see the full fight. I was watching in the car. I had to get off. I was watching in the car. Again, not saying that I weren't paying full attention, but I just couldn't really watch it properly. I was in the car and just read all mixed reports on it. So I'm going to watch it myself and score it, because, like I said, I've seen Carl Froch have Warrington winning. Eddie saying Lopez might have just nicked it. So I'm going to just see for myself and see what I feel. Not that it'll make a difference, but I watch boxing. So when I'm sitting on the couch having a bit of rest, I'll watch it.
Obviously, we're here to talk about the Eubank fight in late January next year. You've sport your Christmas, Liam. There's no turkey for you, no dessert, no beer. It's not really the right thing to do for a massive event like that. Yeah,
of course, but mate, it all pays well in the end when you win. There's no better feeling than winning anyway. So, my Christmas can come the end of January. I can spend time, I can have holidays, and I can spend time with my family that way. But I can still spend family time. I just can't. I can't indulge in the food and chocolate that you'd want to Christmas time. But mate, I'm happy where I'm at. I still enjoy Christmas with my family, but I'll also enjoy the rest of my camp up to the Eubank Junior fight.
Obviously, there's been press conference, you've done interviews on this fight for quite a long time. It's been reports that you wanted this fight for a long time. Why the Eubank fight more than anything else in the moment?
It's just more, it was be a big fight domestically. He's getting a big name for himself through the boxing wise, not just basically through his dad. And it was a fight that I knew I could win. Yeah. So it was one that I just thought, well, you all think Eubank's a good name, I'll beat Eubank. So that's what it was basically. Yeah,
and obviously it's been spoken about a lot. The rematch clause evidently perhaps shows that they've not got that much confidence in their man, let's say, with the rematch clause.
Yeah, again, like I said, I've openly said this to them at the table at a press conference. Okay, Chris, you might not have had no clue about it. You might be 100% confident, but your team's not. because your team put a rematch clause in with me that they never put in with other people. So they're not entirely 100% confident in you.
Yeah, and recently I've just seen videos going out on social media. The gloves are off teaser. Just take me through a little bit until that's released, what that was like to film.
Yeah, it was good to film. It was good to sit down. Again, he knows there's cameras there, but it was good to sit down face to face and get a couple of points across. But I don't know what they'll show. I don't know how it'll come across. But
we don't think the whole thing will be shown.
No.
Why say that?
It won't. Obviously, I knew. We got told stop. I can't say this. I can't say that. So no, I don't think the whole thing will be shown. But it'll be interesting to see what got shown. We had a couple of conversations between each other no, never. I'm not saying it got heated and things won't be shown. I'm not saying as if it's gone off, but I just mean, it maybe got heated a little bit and got stopped and through conversations and things getting mentioned. But yeah.
Are you learning more and more about him though? I mean, he does play up to the media, or is he just smoke and mirrors with him?
No, I'm learning nothing more about him. Everything he's done is expected, besides that KFC jacket. Nobody expected that, but everything else he's done and said was expected. I knew he'd come with like the 50% angle, because beforehand I was saying Chris knows he can't be 60% against me. So he's come with the other angle now, saying he'll be 50. That was fully expected of him too.
And as well, what was in the clip that they released was the fact that you were saying that you'd struggle to lose to Chris. Why exactly him you'd struggle to lose to more than anyone else?
Just to say, look, I sat at the table at press conference with Fowler and said I'd struggle. Fowler was in Liverpool. I said I'd struggle to show my face the next day. Blah blah blah. I'd struggle to losing to someone like smug and arrogant as Chris. I'd never want to lose. If you want to lose to someone, you want to lose to someone who's respectful and losing someone like Chris who's smug and rub it in, and I'd never want to lose to someone like Chris.
What do you make of the weight though? It's hard perhaps for Chris to make 160. Yeah, there was arguments around the 157 mark for Eubank versus Ben, and he struggled with that. We saw the clip on social media as well. Is 160 hard, do you think, for Chris?
I think it is, yeah. Again, like if I was as easy as Conor, he wouldn't do 158 or 159 for me. It'd have to be 160. So, just openly said, haven't I? As answers don't match the questions. That's all it is.
And obviously, you've had previous run-ins with Chris in terms of your sparring sessions. You able to discuss that any at all?
Yeah, it's just good. Good spars. To be fair, not like again people that keep justifying spars. It's not like I'm saying, I murdered them sparring or whatever it may be. We had good spars, but I know Chris can be at the body. That's all I've said.
And in terms of those sparring sessions, obviously you can't take much from that in terms of this fight, or is it just past the past and it was just spars back in the day? It
was just spars back in the day. What I'm saying, I know he's got a good chin. He's fit. Statistically-wise, I know what he brings. He's obviously improved a little bit, over the years. But I just think, everyone makes out like he's this piece of iron and can't be hurt. I know he can be hurt.
Obviously, he's gone back with Roy Jones. Is that a surprise to you?
No. Roy Jones said, Chris has been on to me and said we need to get ready for Liam Smith. So that just, again, doesn't match up to what he's saying. If I'm an easy fight, what are you bringing Roy over for?
Adam Booth, Ronnie Davis and now Roy, he's obviously been with a lot of trainers. Which Eubank Jr. do you think has been the best so far?
Did he have a fight under Adam Booth?
I don't know if you thought. They trained together though, didn't they?
Yeah, probably never going to work, them two. Ronnie Davies, he's never listened to. I said, I give him credit, fair play. Roy Jones seems to be the first man you're listening to and taking instructions off. So, good luck to you. But again, I hope I get the Roy Jones Jr. and Chris Eubank Jr. that turned up for the Liam Williams fight. I hope I get that, Chris.
Why'd you say that?
Just hope I get that stylistically wise, Chris, because the way he boxed, I don't think he can box me like that. So I get that type, Chris. I think it's a lot easier night for me than expected.
Is that because the sort of tempo that was for, or why'd you say that?
No, just the back foot, Chris, on the back foot, trying to jab like that, trying to jab and be fluent like Roy Jones Jr. I think you can't do that with me. So if you try it with me, then I hope you do.
Obviously, we're not going to go into the 50% mark that's been spoken about so much, and it doesn't really mean much in retrospect. But what is the key to victory for you on January?
Temperament, obviously. Keeping my wits about me, being cute, especially on the inside when Chris starts to come and have a fight with you, and just being me, switched on. Obviously, no slow starts, and again, I think I've got everything in my game to beat Chris Eubank.
You've wanted this fight for a long time, and obviously Ben Shalom and Boxer wanted it for a long time as well. Since you've signed with them, where does he rank in terms of the fighters that you've fought previously?
He's up there, obviously, because he's a big middleweight, but ability-wise, so he's not a better fighter than Canelo Alvarez. He's not a better fighter than Jaime Munguia. Ability-wise, he's probably not a better. He's not a better fighter than Jesse Vargas, but he's a lot bigger than Jesse. Jesse was a 140, 147, then tried to go to 154. So he's not as good as them three. But all being said, I know he's a tougher fight than Jesse because he's a big middleweight.
Last one on this then. You said previously this will cement you as a big name in British boxing. Where does this take you? Obviously you've got the rematch clause to deal with if you are successful, but what type of fights afterwards are you looking towards?
Yeah, so I just think it's I've proved myself time and time again domestically. Everyone who's tried to step up, I beat them. I've never lost to a British fighter. Chris has. And I've just been dominant at 154, especially in Britain. Chris is our #1 middleweight now at 160. I beat Chris. I'm dominant at 162. So that's what I mean. It just cements my name now. Makes me dominant that little bit more in British boxing. When I'm done, you can make me look back and think, he never lost a fight at 154 in Britain, and he also never lost a fight at 162. Because I said this after Fowler, to be honest with you, but I thought I probably won't box under the Brit, and then obviously the Eubank thing come into it. But after Eubank, I'm probably not going to box under the British fighter unless I fight him again. But I just think it'll just think, wow, well, he dominates at 154, now he's just beat Chris at 160.
Rematch, if it is that way, would be up in Liverpool, you hope?
Definitely.
In Anfield?
Oh, fingers crossed, hopefully. But even if it's in Anfield or not, it's definitely in Liverpool. But even if we have to go to a smaller arena, the Echo Arena, it's definitely going in Liverpool.
And obviously touch on it as well, Callum Smith reportedly out in March, is that true?
It comes out in March, mate. It's in Liverpool, yeah, March the 11th. So hopefully he gets another win there and then fights the winner at Better Be Evan Yard.
Lyndon Arthur, been reports that could be a possible fight. What have you heard? That's something that we've heard as well. There's obviously loads of options available, but is that the next fight for Callum?
Yeah, I think it's been spoke about. I think it's been put to Callum on a piece of paper with another few names. So yeah, I think it's down to, I think by all accounts, it's not done. Lyndon's ends anyway, so I think Lyndon's got to try and negotiate his own deal for Callum first. Callum will pick who he wants, but asking me about Callum Smith, Lyndon Arthur, I'm massively confident in Callum and Lyndon. So yeah, I just think let's see how it pans out. Callum and Lyndon's not done yet, but if that's the fight next for Callum, then I'm confident in Callum.
Just two more for me then. How do you see that Yard Better Be a fight going? It's a huge fight in obviously London.
Yeah, it's interesting, but all the interest is really coming from what Better Be has got left. Age has got to catch up with you sooner or later. I think he's 38 now, is he? Maybe, or he might even be older, but it's got to catch up with you sooner or later. He's always had that little bit of vulnerability to him. He can be hurt, so but it's interesting. But asking me who wins, I think Better Be wins.
Your old stablemate Paul Butler's in a huge fight against Inoue. Obviously they've weighed in now, just waiting for the fight night. Huge task, but it's what you're in boxing for. That's why Paul Butler's gone for the fight. There's a lot of perhaps more American media that are just saying this is a nothing fight and it's an easy fight for Inoue, but you've got to give Paul Butler credit in my eyes, and it is a big fight, but how do you see that going? I know it's a tough task.
Of course, yeah, and obviously, look, you can see why they're saying it, but it's a tough task, rightly so. It's for 4 world titles, it's for the undisputed championship, so, it should be a tough fight. All being said, he's fighting one of the elites, like, Scary Puncher, a very good fighter also, not just a banger, class fighter, but never say never. He's just always been tight at the weight for a while. He's looking at big fights. He's just took 2 goals to make weight on the scales today, so, never say never. Fingers crossed, though, it's going to be a massive upset, obviously, but fingers crossed he can upset the world and come back with them titles. And I'm rooting for him. I like him. He's a friend of mine. So I'm rooting for him, fingers crossed. I'm praised he pulls it off, but you know, he knows he's not stupid. He knows he's in a massive fight and it's an uphill task for him. But in boxing, mate, never say never. Worse things have happened in boxing.
Joe Gallagher said that he needs to create his own Rocky story. That's probably the case, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is. Probably is the case, but you know, he's got to, like I say, he's got to just knock walls down himself. He's got to break it down himself, Paul.